Joined in the Porn Crush studio tonight by Cami Strella. Cami, a surging name right now in the adult industry, or at least in the mainstream porn industry. She's been in sex work for quite a while at a high level. Very, very successful cam model, huge OnlyFans star. We're going to get to know her a little bit. Cami, thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your background and kind of, growing up. I know you bounced all over the country. What was your life like before
Yeah,
adults?
first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so
Yes.
excited to talk to you and so excited to be here. Yeah, I've kind of lived all over the place. I primarily grew up in the Southeast, born and raised in Virginia, grew up a little bit in Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. So I am like a Southeast Southern girl at heart, as much as I hate to admit it. I do have like certain very specific traditional values. Like when the guy, walks on the sidewalk side or
Well,
opens the car door for me. But that's probably the only traditional things that I have about myself.
there's
But
nothing wrong with that, Cami. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a Southerner myself, so we.
yeah, so I am the daughter. I am a first generation American. I'm the daughter of two wonderful parents are from Peru. I'm Peruvian and Scottish. My grandfather was a Scottish man.
Mhm.
So kind of that's why my hair is kind of reddish sometimes, a weird reddish tint to it. But I am primarily Latina. So I grew up great upbringing in the South. Grew up barefoot, running around. I loved it.
Mhm.
Playing with bugs in the dirt. So
Right.
um, so I went to college originally in Northern Virginia, and it's kind of where it goes left field. So kind of just bear with me for a moment.
Sure.
In the summer before my final year of college, undergrad,
Mhm.
I joined a cult.
Right. I'd heard about this.
Yeah, I joined a multi-level marketing company that turned out to be very religious. And people say, "Oh, that's not a cult. It's just a multi-level marketing scheme. It was a pyramid scheme."
Uh-huh.
For most people, sure, but I was involved specifically with a training group that was very conservative, very like religious. They had me be a born again virgin. They found that I watched porn once and they had me go to like what I call slut conversion therapy. Very
Mhm.
weird.
Mhm.
I basically dropped out of school and moved across the country to Seattle for it. And I had this like year long weird kind of eat, pray, love journey where I was part of this organization. I was trying to recruit people, as these things are. It was akin to like Avon. It was kind of like Avon, Mary Kay, that kind of thing. We sold a lot of
Yeah.
different products, but ultimately, um, it was a very weird experience. They thought like
Yes.
yoga was like the devil, something the devil made up, like really, really weird things. I didn't really quite know that going in, and neither did the person that got me involved. They didn't know. So I lasted in Seattle for a year, but I learned actually so much about business because what they did do and what they did instill in me, aside from the whole weird like born again virginity thing that
Mhm.
I did
Mhm.
not like keep up with at all. Um, was I learned a lot about business because what they had you do is read a lot of books, business books, nonfiction books, listen to different audio tapes every day, audio books. Um, it's weird to say, but they did limit me on what I could watch on TV, which again, it was a cult, so things were limited, but um, it actually kind of focused my brain on a business mindset and everything I know about like financials, business, like how to run,
Mhm.
like anything running a business. I learned from being in a cult. So it's thanks to them that I'm now able to be successful as a creator, as an independent creator, an entrepreneur, and be able to run a business successfully.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I lasted in Seattle for a year, and then I kind of moved back. I kind of got over it and moved back to the East Coast. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it sounds to me like a more of like a psychological cult more than anything, where it was just kind of like there
Right.
was mind control kind of thing. And did you really feel like you had kind of bought in and were.
I bought in because their whole thing was like you're around like really wealthy or the perception of wealth, right? These people that had private jets and really nice cars and boats and like, and that's generally decent life advice is to take advice, and they're also only take advice from people with fruit on the tree, right? Which
Mhm.
generally makes sense. It's like same thing in the adult industry. It's like you like ask people who are already successful for advice, not just people that's are like maybe like just brand new, or it's the same thing in life. You want to ask someone for advice who you want to emulate, right? Who
Right.
has what you already want.
Yeah.
But definitely more on the psychological end of things because it wasn't like a commune. I didn't like live anywhere that was um like a community based thing. It was very much psychological for sure.
Right. Well, as someone that had, been, I guess, somewhat promiscuous in her life before that, was the whole no sex, no adult stuff tough for you to live
Yeah,
under
that
for
was I
that?
think that was like my greatest sin. It was super weird. And I didn't grow up religious. So it was just really like, at 23, it was like, okay, like I guess I'm religious now. Because I
Yeah.
thought, okay, well, clearly I want to get like my whole goal was to be retired by 25. And I'm thinking, well, I see all these rich, successful people and they're
Yeah.
religious, so maybe this is just the path. I don't know.
Mhm,
I was
mhm.
young, dumb, full of cum, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. And I just I wanted to win. I just wanted to win so badly in life. And I just thought I would do whatever it took to just win at life. Um, yeah,
Right.
so I moved back to the East Coast, finished school. I finished up my undergrad degree, and then pursued my graduate degree in occupational therapy with this specialty in neurology or like neurological rehabilitation. Because of like all the repression sexually I endured for the like year or two prior, I
Yeah.
really wanted to make a big deal on addressing sexuality in the medical field. Actually, that was my original goal. I also wanted to work with military veterans and all that, and a lot of people know about that. But
Hey.
my original goal was to address sexuality in the medical field because so
Right.
few providers, so few medical providers know how to talk about sex. They're always so embarrassed. They don't know how to like if someone has a question like you have a hip replacement or a knee replacement or you are going through chemotherapy, no doctor wants to talk to you about safe positioning to
Yeah.
have sex, but that's sex
Interesting.
is an activity of daily life, of daily living. That's what we call them ADLs in the OT occupational therapy world.
Oh,
It's a function of life, and everyone deserves to have healthy relationship with sexuality, whether you have a disability or not. So yeah, so I pursued that for a little bit, and then eventually, while I was in grad school after my first round of clinical rotation, I my cohort found out that I was doing porn to pay for school. I was already at this point very successful with OnlyFans.
yeah.
I gained a lot of my notoriety through TikTok. I ended up becoming verified on TikTok, and at that point, I already had like 50, 60,000 paying fans, which is crazy, and all these
Pain.
other yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it blew up very quickly.
It's interesting that, because and I actually read a story about you, Tammy, in the Washington Post,
Yeah,
about this whole situation.
yeah.
Um, you were basically kind of outed, I guess, by a classmate, right? And it led to you kind of having
I was
to leave
outed via
school.
TikTok. Like at TikTok, I didn't know quite understand how, certain social media apps work. And I was living and going to school in a very small town. So it was pumping to the local region around me. I didn't know anything about
Mhm,
VPNs or whatever. So
mhm.
it was pumping to my classmates. And it was the TikTok that went viral that they found out about was actually about me selling my partner's used cum racks to my fans.
Wow.
I might still have the TikTok somewhere. It was just literally like a little joke about how, and I used to, they were like $150 a pop. I don't do it anymore, but I mean, if
Yeah,
anyone wants one. But yeah, it was,
yeah.
like a cum rag, like just a gross washcloth in your bathroom that you just wipe up the cum with after. And I would
I
sell them. And it went
Wow.
viral. That's how they found out.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to me because you were doing very well for yourself financially through OnlyFans and stuff like that. Yet still in school, you must have really had a passion for
I
what you were.
did. I didn't expect or go into sex work in general to it be full time. I just never like really thought of it that way. I've done every
Mhm.
aspect of sex work. I camped for a little bit like during the beginning of the pandemic, but
Yeah.
um I kind of got my start in a strip club as a cocktail waitress, and then that evolved into being a stripper, and then now
Mhm.
I do porn. Um
And were you mainly doing those things to kind of pay the bills, or was
Yes,
it a
it was a niche of
passion?
survival. So 100%. So I started off as a survival sex worker stripper. I literally couldn't buy food groceries for myself. I was in North Carolina. I was literally in downtown Raleigh, like a really gross part of downtown Raleigh,
Mhm.
like jail bars on the windows, like really gross
Yeah.
apartment. A lot of crime in that area for some reason.
Yeah.
I would work day shift because day shift girls would get lunch for free. And they had they were attached to like like a steakhouse. So I'd get salmon and mashed potatoes and like green beans every single day. So at least I was
Huh.
like being able to literally feed myself. And eventually like I had a couple good nights, and then a couple good nights turned into a couple good weeks. And then it kind of evolved from there. And then the whole world shut down during
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. That happened. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
They're very
all
like viral meme, and I don't know if those are real or not. Like
yeah.
mine was very legitimate. Like I can't say they kicked me out necessarily, but they made it so uncomfortable for me to be there. My class was very small. It was like 25 people, mostly girls, and all a lot younger, like fresh out of undergrad, like 22. I was like 25 at the 26th
Yeah.
time. I was like, I have some years under my belt. And
Yeah.
they were,
Yeah.
living with their parents. I'm like, I'm paying my own bills. I don't
Hmm.
like rely on my parents for anything because I'm an adult.
Right.
So it was like a blessing in disguise because ultimately I realized I can make a much larger difference in the world. Because I like to do a lot of things with different types of philanthropies around mental health and all that. So I realized I can make a much bigger impact, having a platform and ultimately I hate to say it, but making more money because it does take
Hmm.
money to make a difference, honestly.
Yeah.
I can make a much bigger difference now than I would as a clinician working one-on-one with patients because you can see maybe a maximum of like 7, maybe 8 patients a day if you
Hmm.
really push yourself. And I was already like starting to see the ugly side of the medical industry. It was just like I hate the
Right.
American healthcare system and how it works. It's very fucking depressing, to be
Yeah.
honest. And 'cause a lot of people need the care, and the insurance companies just won't provide.
Well, even before you kind of transitioned into mainstream or started doing mainstream shoots
Right.
last summer, you had built up such a big following on social media, and only can you give us some numbers in terms of I can look them up, but out of lazy, like what are your followings like right now?
Oh gosh.
Ballpark.
For social media, oh
Yeah.
god. I think I have like 400,000 on Twitter, 320K on Instagram. I have no
Yeah.
idea. TikTok, I like have like 6 or 700,000. I'm verified on TikTok. I'm not sure. But
Right.
TikTok is like no where I pushed a lot of people and then I eventually started pushing from TikTok, which sounds really weird. And then people found out I was on Pornhub and that pushed a lot of traffic to Pornhub. So like some
Hmm.
of my most viewed clips on Pornhub are like 30-second clips.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
that's
Well, I
all I
mean,
used to have at the time. I
yeah.
didn't focus much on that, but um, I'm currently at like I think I have over 150,000 fans on OnlyFans. It's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, to achieve those numbers without, for the most part, even shooting mainstream porn. I mean, I know
No,
you're doing it now, but it's pretty. What was the key to really growing your brand and your following during that time?
just honestly, I hate to say it's like living my life and just documenting things I like to do and things that I thought were funny. Because like I don't know, I feel like this. I swear I have like a narrator in my head constantly. It's my own voice, but like a funny little things that happen throughout my life, and then just documenting or recording them, and then just like bouncing ideas off, people around me, and creating a network of people that also think the same way. A big catalyst for me, honestly, was AVN last year, so 2023's AVN.
Yeah.
That was my first AVN. I met a lot of really cool people, and that's when I had, the most successful, highest earning months in my career thus
Mhm.
far. And I think it's because, I just got around so many people that were like minded. And it was there at AVN that I decided that I wanted to move to LA and,
Yeah.
start to pursue or begin pursuing shooting some studio mainstream because I already feel like I've hit the top of, the independent side. It's like, what's next? Like, I constantly need a challenge. I constantly need to be doing something new or learning something different or becoming like a master at something. So I don't know if I'll ever become a master within the mainstream, but I can sure as hell try.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say you must have really felt driven to do that because again, a lot of times when someone experiences that kind of success that you were having financially or just maybe career wise or whatever, you can just get real complacent, and just be happy with that. But you
Yeah, and social media bogs you down, honestly. It's like it's so fucking annoying to post a little thing every day, but I did it. I did it. I just do post your thing every day. You just do the same thing every day. It's so monotonous. It is very much like having a 9 to 5 job, which I used to have corporate jobs, so I was very used to that. You have to
Mhm.
discipline and live your life as if you still do have that 9 to 5. It's like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
now I can wake up when I want, but my day is
Yeah.
still structured as if I have that 9 to 5 still.
Yeah. So you go to AVN in 2023 and meet a bunch of people and you just
Yeah.
feel like, hey, I'm ready to take this next step. Was there anyone that was really kind of key and whether they were acting in a mentor role or a motivator role or a couple of people that maybe got you going?
Yeah,
And
I don't know about like it was just meeting a community of people.
yeah,
My good
okay.
friends like Naked Bakers and Austin Films. I had met them, I think, or reach out to them previously. They're independent creators. Their whole thing is like casual nudity, so they don't even do porn. They're not even in the adult industry. I went there to basically just hang out with Fansly, because Fansly had a booth and I have a Fansly last year at ADN, and they just know a lot of people. They've been in LA for a long time and they're connected with a lot of people. So it kind of just got plugged in with them, and then it kind of like spread like wildfire. Started getting connected with other people. Some people who do porn, some people who do like public flashing, some people who do little bits of everything. And I liked the cornucopia of community that I started to meet of people, because it wasn't just porn people, it wasn't just mainstream. It was some people that did, just Pornhub. That was it. That was their game. Or some people that just did like P content. I'm like, that's cool too. So I like the variety of people that I met at ADM.
Absolutely. So you jump in, and we're going to talk more about what's ahead, but you have done a handful of scenes, over the past few months. What do you like about being on set and just
It's
shooting
so
studio porn?
different. Like being on set has like influenced so much of how I conduct like non-studio scenes now. Because I so appreciate the professionalism. I just like having a whole crew on set. I like how I'm treated. I feel like I'm literally there. Like I feel like I'm literally in a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
I feel like the star that I always wanted to be. The intentions on you, and it's funny having like a talent liaison, or I'm not sure what they're called, they're like a PA, but sometimes there's
Yeah.
PAs that also are like a focus on making sure like I'm taken care of. They're making sure I have like the wipes, or if I need water, and they get me a straw so I don't mess up my lipstick. It's such a cool feeling. And everyone truly cares about the product, because that's always something, as an independent creator, as an adult content creator, I've worked so hard and spent so much money, time, and energy learning camera work. It was nice to feel like that, appreciating that, because some people still just film on iPhone, and that's cool too. I don't know, I shoot like pro-am content for my sites, so it was cool to like understand the lighting setups and kind of analyze a set from a different lens, right? Because I'm like, okay, I'm like taking note of different kind of lighting styles that they're doing, the cameras that they're using, different angles that they're filming in, just the cinematography of pro porn is so much fun for me.
Yeah. A lot of girls will get into this business with kind of money being the number one thing on their mind, and maybe they don't enjoy the sex as much as others. What about you? Have you always been kind of a sexual person, and is that as big of a part of it for you as
It
anything?
ebbs and flows. I'll be honest, it ebbs and flows. I don't know if it's like hormonal or what, but it definitely ebbs and flows. I'm very much a demisexual, sapiosexual, and if you don't know what that means, or anyone that is watching or listening, it basically means that I very much, it's almost like a requirement for me to have an emotional connection with someone, and I really value intelligence in a person, or someone to have some sort of depth. I think everyone's kind of a little bit demisexual to some extent, right? But being on set sometimes it's like, or even during a collab, like a trade scene or collab, or like a collab scene, you might not know the person. You kind of just show up and it's like a cold kind of thing. It's like, okay. So learning how to navigate that has been the biggest curve for me, is building that rapport and chemistry before the scene ever starts, right? And learning how to build that chemistry during the scene. And I think that's what makes a good performer, is like, holy shit, you walk away and it's like, learning your body and making yourself come during a scene is like the greatest thing. Like I never fake orgasms. I also come really easily, so maybe that's just easy for me. But and not everyone's built that way. But yeah, I would not say I'm a hypersexual person, but I value deep sexual encounters and deep sexuality. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I know, Cami, not that we're talking about a whole lot of physical things, but I mean, you obviously are big chested and probably have been for a while. You get a lot of attention
I
for
have not
that. I
been
mean,
for a while. No, I got these last July.
I read somewhere that you had that procedure. I was shocked. I thought it was all, natural, but not that it.
No one knows that I got a boob job. Like I'm like, eating my Wheaties.
Right.
But I also don't care. Like I'm not like trying to hide it, but I'm also not like, look at my boob job. I just got them a little bigger, so they're not that much different than they were before, to be honest. I just wanted them a little bit of a different shape, but I've had like producers cast me as all natural, but I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah. But I've got to think even back to when you were younger, probably late teens, early 20s, people were, you know, you were turning heads walking down the street,
A
because of
little
that.
bit, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Um, well, Hussie Models is your new agent, and I know you're really excited
Yes.
about that.
I'm very excited to be
Riley
with
and
Alex Mack.
oh,
I got
Alex Mack, that's right.
yeah, with
He's with
Alex Mack,
us.
yes. I know. So yeah, they have like their kind of own roster with
Mhm.
independent agents. So yeah, I had my mainstream debut last year with Browsers. It was absolutely amazing. I've shot with Balesa and RK, which is also another ALO company, obviously, or now
Yeah,
they're ALO, I think, or
I think
I think
so.
ALO bought them out recently.
Mhm.
It's been amazing. I spent a lot of time traveling last year, so this year is really dedicated to studio, doing as much as I can, challenge myself with studio on mainstream sets. And I've known Alex for a little bit, so I trust him, and he's awesome. And everyone else on his roster has amazing things to say about him. And I know he'll get me the kind of scenes that I want because I very much want to shoot a lot of trans scenes. I'm excited to
Mhm.
be on a lot of trans companies sets. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I feel like this is gonna be a really big year for me. I'm really gonna get what I want out of this year. I feel like with mainstream.
Absolutely. Are you someone that wants to work, like when it comes to your work schedule? I mean, 2, 3 times a week, more or less. I mean, do you like to space it out? Are you one of those people that wants to just go crazy and just
I like
shoot
to,
it?
oh no, God, I can't do that because I think that's where you burn out so easily. Like I
Mhm.
also have other things going on about other businesses, so it's like I told Alice I'm like, look, I can do like I want like 2 to 4 scenes a month, or like 3 to 4 scenes a month. I think that is doable. Like one scene a week, so I have like one scene a week and then one collab a week, and then I'll do like a YouTube or something that's like safer work because I have to keep this machine that is Cami Strella running, right, and a lot of it is the safer work
Yeah,
content, believe it or not. And a lot of my,
yeah,
because I already have a huge audience, I bring a lot of people, like so many people are like, when are you gonna film next? When are you on set next? I want to see your next scene. It's like so many people want to see all the scenes that I'm in. So I bring a lot of I also bring a lot of traffic to companies too. So that's also nice. It's like
yeah,
a very win-win situation for me.
absolutely. You mentioned collabs, and there's a pretty big one. I don't know if you can talk about it. I would think you could, that you
I can talk
shot, I
about
believe,
it. Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
Adriana Chechik, who, a lot of people thought was done with porn, and she had kind of said that, but so many people are glad to see she's dabbling again in
Yeah.
it. You said you've had a relationship with her for a while, been a friend of hers for a
Yeah,
while.
I've known her for about 3 years now, which is crazy. I shot a scene with her
Yeah.
like about 3 years ago, I guess. Just a
Mhm.
GG, kind of like a girl, all girl kind of scene, a small little girl scene, a few years ago in the middle of Tennessee. Really random.
That
But
is
I've known her
random.
for a while, and I saw her, yeah, like she was really involved in the Twitch community, and I did Twitch for a little bit. It wasn't for me,
That's
but I would just see her like in passing at things here and there, and we've always gotten along really well. Honestly, she's a great human being. She has like a heart of gold, and Jesus Christ, that woman can perform. Like they
right.
just don't make them like that anymore. They really don't. And um my one of my partners and I'm polyamorous, so if I say one of, that's why.
Mhm.
Got to film with her yesterday, and so it was so much fun. Like I didn't know what to expect. I know post injury and me having my medical background, we're very like make like what are your limitations, like what are your safety precautions, like contraindications. We want to make sure you're safe and like your spine is protected at all times. But she just went for it. Like I was like, oh my God, like she is like she's
Uh,
back. Like she's really back.
she hasn't lost anything. She it was
No, like
Adriana.
she like
Everyone,
turned us out. I was like, I was sore this morning. Like my whole body, I felt like I got ran over by a truck or something.
right,
I had muscles where there's like all these muscles I didn't know I had that were sore.
right.
But it was
Well,
an
that's good to
amazing
hear.
scene.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, on a serious note, a lot of concern throughout the community. If about a year ago, maybe a little more, when Adriana was injured, severe back injury, during an
yeah,
accident at a convention, and not a porn convention, but
yeah.
was
It
it
was
a
like a
Twitch? What
streaming. It
Twitch
was for
convention?
Twitch,
Yeah. So
TwitchCon, I believe. Yeah,
yeah, it's good. So good to hear that she's healthy again, and considering her dabbling in adult work, one of the all-time greats without question. So people will be looking forward to that on your OnlyFans. I'm guessing, is that
absolutely.
where
Yeah,
that'll
it's coming
look?
out probably like in about a month or so. Maybe I still got
Yeah.
we just filmed it yesterday, so it's like everyone's like, when's it coming out? I'm like, hold on, y'all. Like we still got it. Sometimes it takes overnight to upload just to my computer because the files are huge and we
Mhm.
gotta edit it and like make sure everyone likes the finished product. It's a lot that goes into producing the scene, and I got it all like
Yeah.
basically like professionally filmed and everything. So it's an amazing. It's gonna
It was you and Adriana, and who was the male talent?
Lev Lieben. Mm-hmm.
That's
He's
right.
an
Okay.
independent creator. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, Cami, I appreciate it. We're going to end things with this little segment called Quick Pops. Just
Oh, exciting.
a quick, you don't have to go too in-depth within these answers, but it's kind of a fun little way to end our Ready to Bust segments. But first of all, when it comes to turn-ons in a guy, I mean, you kind of touched on this earlier about sapiosexual and things like that, but what are some other things you really like in a
When he's
male partner?
well traveled, when he's like been outside of at least his state. I'm like, have you traveled? Do you like to travel? An ambition to see the world is so attractive to me.
Hey, what about a turn off? Something a guy can do that'll just make you walk away pretty quickly.
When he doesn't go down on me. A lot of guys don't go down on girls. I don't know if it's an important thing, but I'm just like, hello, like finger me, something, please.
Does it matter when they do it? Like, is it better for you to go down on him first, vice versa, before sex, after sex? Some guys
not as much so, but I like there to at least be like it's like incorporated throughout somehow. Like literally like finger me or go down on me at any point during sex, and I'm super happy. But I do like to come first, and I come in like 2 seconds, so it's again like really easy. But if I don't come within like 3 minutes, you did something wrong.
You're deaf. It was off. What about sexual position? If you had to pick one.
My favorite sex position, I like prone bone, like doggy when you're like kind of straight leg is super lazy position. Not a good camera position at all. Or like when you're in doggy and he has like, and he like kind of props you up against his chest. You're kind of like up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that
hits the right spot.
You're not like this, you're kind of like that.
Yeah, I guess. We gotta come up with a name for that. Let's think about that.
What is that called? I don't know what that's called. Like,
I don't need it.
Upright doggy.
Yeah. Well, what's something that's you've got to have in your set bag, the bag that you take to set, like a constant that's always in there?
Lumify eye drops.
I have those.
Do you the purple cap? They're so good.
Yes.
They're over the counter. They work amazing. Like I carry them in bulk. So I'm like, here, take one, please. Keep putting your set bag. I constantly get come in my eye, so you know.
I mean, take those after a late night or whatever. When you wake up, have to get up early the next morning. Your eyes are red.
Like HD. Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible. Do you have a porn crush? Someone maybe that you want to work with, or someone that you just love working with that you've.
There's this guy. Okay, as far as guy goes, there's this guy, and I like love like. I have this toxic relationship with like military guys, and I'm trying to get away from it. But there's this guy named Parker Ambrose who is so fine. Like, I don't know that he shoots collabs, but like he's just pro porn. Have you heard of him, Parker Ambrose?
Oh, yeah.
He's a former airman. I think. Yeah, I think he was Air Force, but he is so fine. Like his jaw is chiseled to high heaven. Girls, I feel like I'm trying to think of a newer girl. Oh, I just worked with Savvy Sucks today, and she was amazing. She's so pretty. She has the most insane, beautiful eyes.
Savvy Sucks is that's one to watch right there. I think she's
gorgeous.
Really doing some good things.
Such a golden retriever personality. I love her.
Yeah, nice person. Are you into girls? I mean, have you
very queer? I'm extremely queer. And I was like always hesitant to talk about it because I have partners that are both like men and women. I tend to consider myself, I guess, pansexual. I'm not sure what the right like terminology is anymore, to be honest. I like don't know how to keep up. I'm trying my best, so please correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm into like anyone and everyone. But I primarily lean towards women.
Gotcha. Okay. Is there something that you've discovered about yourself sexually that maybe you didn't know that you liked before you got into the industry, like a kink or a fetish or?
I think. Oh, rimming. I'd never rimmed a man before in my life, and then I got into porn and and started doing porn, and I'm like, and now I'm like, how do people not rim? Like,
yeah. So you're not just doing it
butthole, and like you have to be the right kind of man, because if you're like a man and you like being rimmed, usually you have like impeccable hygiene. Like you are washing that sucker like inside and out.
Right. So you're
which is
comfortable going
attractive
down
to
there,
me.
yeah.
Like we love good hygiene.
So you're not just doing it as a favor. You get into it.
I get into it. That's not a favor. That's not for anyone's pleasure but my own.
Oh, okay. My bad. I got. What about let's say you've kind of not been eating a lot because you've got a big shoot coming up or whatever,
Yeah.
and and the shoot's over, and you can run and get anything you want to eat. Do you have like a post scene go
It's
to?
post game. I'm telling you, yesterday with Adriana Chechik, I was like, today's the Super Bowl.
You're an athlete. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh God, pizza. It's so bad. Like just, I'm gluten intolerant, but I'm like, if it's been a really crazy scene, I will eat like disgusting Domino's pizza, which I am.
What is?
So
Yeah.
gross. Like, ugh, like
Domino's.
chain pizza. No, but or like Papa John's stuffed crust pizza is my favorite. So
Okay. I
bad.
haven't tried that.
So bad. Ugh, don't do it.
Last thing, if you have if you, as you say, if you're going to shut the machine down, the Cami Strella machine for a day or so, and just take some personal time for yourself, what are some things you like to do?
I like to just get in a new setting, a new environment. Like even if it's just going to Vegas, and like I went like last month, I needed just a couple days away, and I went to Vegas for the spa.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'll go to like the desert. I'll go to Palm Springs. I love Palm Springs, and just to get away for a couple days and just literally change my scenery. That's how I reset. Is I need a full 24 to 48 hours of a change of scenery, and then I'm
Right.
good.
Like to be pretty much solo or with one or two people, or in other words, you're trying to get away from crowds and just isolate, or is it just more
Not so much like isolate. I would say just I
something
go
new?
solo. I love traveling solo, to be honest. It's really fun. I like to just meet new people. That's so invigorating to me, is meeting new people, just out and about. Vegas is an easy place to do that because there's all kinds of people traveling around and a lot of people with different interesting backgrounds as to why they're there. But I get invigorated kind of like meeting new people on my own, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you're meeting plenty of people in the porn industry. I know. I hear your name mentioned all the time about what a good vibe you give off and your energy, and just
I just want everyone to win. That's like my biggest thing. I'm like, I just want everyone to win and not make the mistakes that I did trying to like, because I've been in this industry for almost 6-7 years now, and it does not even take this long to be at this level. So I just want everyone else to win faster.
Yeah. Well, the mistakes you've made, you clearly learned from them because you're doing great. We appreciate the time and are excited to see you here. Good luck with Hussie Models and Alex and everything you've got coming up. And we'll chat again soon.
Thank you so much. It was such a delight.